Imagine coming across an isolated piece of land in the middle of the Pacific, brimming with plants and animals found nowhere else on Earth. A look around would exhibit incredible evolutionary history and an insight to the breathtaking creation of life. This is the Galapagos Islands, a volcanic archipelago made up of 20 islands located 600 miles from the Ecuadorian mainland. Biological diversity, or biodiversity, is a term that is used to describe the number of different living things, such as plants and animals, in an area. Biodiversity in the Galapagos ranges from the iconic giant tortoises to plant and bug life that has yet to be discovered. The Galapagos are so biodiverse because they offer many different habitat zones for species to find their niche in. These vary on each island from coral reefs to highland forests. The Galapagos Islands host a remarkable level of endemism, or species that are found nowhere else on the planet. To keep the Galapagos sustainable, endemic species must be protected, as this maintains ecosystem stability. Keystone species, or species whose population size has a major impact on the stability of the entire ecosystem, are also critical for biodiversity. Galapagos tortoises are a keystone species in the Galapagos, and they are one of the 2 remaining tortoise populations in the world. 3 species of tortoises have gone extinct, and the last member of a 4th species, Lonesome George, died in 2012. There is also species diversity, which is diversity within species. A remarkable example of species diversity are Darwin's finches. There are 13 species of finches, each one with a different beak, size, and shape that accompanies their feeding behavior. These fast-evolving invertebrates were first observed by Charles Darwin when he traveled to the Galapagos in 1835, providing the basis for his theory of evolution through natural selection. Species diversity throughout the Galapagos has since been critical for research. Maintaining biodiversity in the Galapagos also has economic and social value. The primary draw for tourism to the islands is the wide array of beautiful species that people can't see anywhere else. This goes hand in hand with the social value of biodiversity because tourists want to appreciate wildlife by seeing it, and immersion into wildlife environments has been proven therapeutic. Therefore, Galapagos conservation is important for humans and animals alike. Since 1991, tourists visiting the islands has increased from 41,000 to over 160,000 people annually. As more tourists visit, the Ecuadorian economy receives more money for the islands, equating to an annual income of over $143 million. However, tourism on the Galapagos also generates several large environmental concerns, thus threatening the unique biodiversity on the island that is so imperative. The jobs created by the Galapagos tourist industry have simultaneously increased the permanent population. And with more human presence on the island, litter and waste have also increased. The excess pollution generated by more people, such as plastic bags, soda cans, and other trash, oftentimes ends up in the oceans off the coast of the islands as marine debris. A single beach cleaning trip will find up to 2.5 tons of trash scattered across the beaches. This foreign trash negatively alters the fragile marine ecosystem. Fish, sea turtles, and other sea creatures end up consuming plastic that they mistake for food, or get tangled up in trash, resulting in countless deaths. With an influx in tourism also comes an increase in invasive species. An invasive species is an organism that is not native to the isolated ecosystem of the Galapagos Islands. They can be anything from cats and dogs to parasites and germs. With over 1,700 invasive species on the island, 70% of which were introduced directly by tourists, they pose one of the greatest threats to biodiversity in the Galapagos. In fact, invasive species are the primary cause of extinction for the majority of the Galapagos. With more tourists staying on land, basic infrastructure such as hotels, restaurants, sewage systems, and roads must be built on the islands to accommodate the needs. As a result, 291 hotels, miles of roadways, and 113 businesses have been built, destroying natural habitats in the process. The World Wildlife Fund also works with lobster fishing communities to encourage sustainable fishing practices that promote fishermen to fish for quality over quantity. The mission of the Charles Darwin Foundation is to ensure the conservation of the environment and biodiversity in the Galapagos archipelago. They have over 100 scientists and researchers conducting scientific experiments to control the problems that tourism has created for the islands. There are also several steps that we as tourists can take in order to help reduce tourist impact on the Galapagos. When booking a trip, use tour operators that have a Smart Voyager stamp of approval. This indicates that you are booking a trip that follows set guidelines aimed at sustainability and environmental responsibility, designed by scientists, conservationists, and tour operators. When visiting the Galapagos, imagine that you are a guest in someone else's home. As a guest, you should not do anything that you wouldn't want someone to do in your home, so you should behave respectfully and act with caution. During your visit, tread lightly and try to leave a minimal impact. Tourists can continue to enjoy the captivating sights of the Galapagos as long as they remember to take only memories and leave nothing but footprints.